Hello gadget lovers. Nowadays smartphones have become our main needs. I remember that in the past, cell phones could only make a phone calls and send text messages. As time goes by, technology is advancing. Now, we have seen increasingly sophisticated smartphones. Today I will share 7 smartphone flagship in 2020 that you must have. Before we continue, please subscribe and share this channel so we can provide useful information for you. Number 1, OnePlus 7 Pro. OnePlus has always sort of been a niche enthusiast smartphone brand which may not be as popular as the majors, but it's carved a pretty nice niche for itself by delivering great smartphone hardware at equally great price points. This year, the OnePlus 7 Pro is fully loaded, and has almost all the features that the One Grand and up flagships have. The only two things missing now are an official water resistance rating and wireless charging. The 7 Pro is the first time the company has ever launched a second Pro variant of its flagship, and it isn't in vain. It promises a lot on paper, and we are already impressed by what this handset has to offer. This phone maxes out at 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of UFS 3.0 storage. The triple camera is a nice addition, but image quality will be the deciding factor, and OnePlus cameras always left room for improvement. Both the front and rear panels are made of Gorilla Glass 5, and the rear one has a translucent, frosty finish that's a nice change from all the shiny glass we've been seeing. This glass also has a film underneath, which results in a cool reflection when you hold it up to the light. Our Aurora Blue model is a gorgeous gradient color that's mostly cerulean at the bottom and fades into indigo at the top. The triple cameras are arranged vertically across the back, and since 2 of them are optically stabilized, there's a slight camera bump. The OnePlus logos and LED flash is placed behind the glass. The frame is made of aluminum, but this one offers a well-polished finish, which contrasts beautifully from the satin finish of the glass. Even the frame's color fades from a light blue to black at the top, like the thunder purple version of the OnePlus 6T. Number 2, Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G. Leading the springtime roster this year, the Ultra marks a shift compared to the 2019 lineup. Where last year we had the similar in most ways S10 and S10 Plus, and then the S10e positioned below them, this time around there's a model above the mainstream S20 and S20 Plus. The new moniker makes all the sense then. It's got an even bigger display and packs a larger battery with faster charging than the other S20s, plus you can have it with up to a ridiculous 16 GB of RAM, while the non-Ultras top out at a modest 12 GB. The primary camera uses a sizable 108MP sensor which combines 9 tiny pixels into one big one with processing designed to make use of the extra data being gathered. The ultra-wide isn't quite there. While it is a new unit with a big sensor and large pixels, it's still missing a vital part of what makes a truly good camera, autofocus. Over on the front, there's yet another ultra camera touch. Samsung's fitted a 40MP selfie module to set it apart from the so familiar 10MP units on the regular S20s. It's going to be one lengthy camera section. Over on the front, there's a bit of surprise, and one that may please a certain group of people who hate design for design's sake. Unlike previous years when Galaxy flagship had more dramatic curves, the Galaxy S20 Ultra's display has but a minor curvature to its side edges, potentially improving handling and minimizing unwanted touch input from the edges. Number 3, Google Pixel 4 XL. The Google Pixel 4 XL represents everything that Google has learned in the first 4 iterations of the Google Pixel, including a mid-cycle and mid-range Pixel 3a which was very well received. This smartphone improves the camera even further, adding a new astrophotography shooting mode and a viewfinder that will preview the HDR+ effect before you shoot the picture. There's also a new telephoto camera that, when combined with super res zoom, can capture images from far away. Google also added a unique radar-based motion sensing technology aptly called Motion Sense. It detects when the user makes wave gestures over the phone, and it can wake the display as the user reaches for it. It can also be used to switch songs with supported apps. The dual-tone textured window is no longer a thing, as the softened glass texture now covers the whole backside of the phone. This soft touch glass is on the clearly white, and oh-so-orange models and is both comfortable and tasteful. The Just Black is the only model that comes in regular shiny glass. With Android 10, Google adds more granular control over notifications and app access to permissions. In today's climate where privacy is constantly thrown in the spotlight, these are welcome features. We also get gesture controls done better, and Google Assistant is more responsive than ever. Number 4, Xiaomi Mi 10. It's been a while since we've last seen a Mi Note phone. The Mi Note 3 came more than 2 years ago and received a lukewarm reception, so the Mi Note series was put on pause. Well, we can now consider that a reboot as the Mi Note 10 is official, and it starts on a high note with a penta-camera setup that's the host of the world's first 108MP snapper. The 108MP camera is the obvious highlight, but it's not the only one. The Note 10 has two zoom snappers, one for 2x and another for 5x optical magnification. There is also a 20MP ultrawide camera with autofocus and a 2MP macro shooter. All kinds of hybrid zoom levels are available, as well as many video capturing modes. The gaming-friendly Snapdragon 730G is in charge of everything that happens on the Mi Note 10. It's not the fastest chip there is today, but it is one of the most current, and its power is more than enough for the 1080p display. The Mi Note 10 also impresses with a massive 5260 mAh battery that's capable of 30W fast charging. We expect nothing but record-setting scores in our battery life test, and here is hoping the Note 10 delivers. Number 5, LG V50 Thin 5G. The LG V50, this is what we'd call it from now on, is built by LG's Flagship standards with all sorts of protections on its dual glass body, and they did not come at the expense of jacks or slots. The 6.4 OLED screen is as top-notch as they come. The resolution is extended 1440p, making for amazing 538 pixels per inch density. There is both HDR10 and Dolby Vision support, always on option and whatnot. And underneath that beauty is the Snapdragon 855 chip with 6GB RAM and a 5G modem. LG has spared no resources on the cameras. The V50 offers a triple camera in its back with wide plus telephoto plus ultrawide arrangement, while the notch at the front hosts two selfie shooters for standard and wide photos. The V50 has a lot more to offer though, and some of the features can't be seen right away. The 4000 mAh is very much appreciated. There is also a hi-fi DAC, stereo speakers, FM radio, and even a standalone micro SD slot. Number 6. Asus ROG Phone 2. Asus, and more specifically the Republic of Gamers division, has always been pretty straightforward about its smartphone goals and priorities. To put it in their own word, the ROG Phone 2 is meant to deliver the ultimate smartphone gaming experience. Just like its predecessor, the latest ROG phone has been designed from the ground up as a professional gaming tool. The kind potentially aimed at the growing professional mobile esports crowd. An extremely niche, exuberant product offering for the very pro-grade and/or very affluent gamers out there. The ROG Phone 2 is meant to be an overkill device, one that is meant to satisfy a gamer's every whim. It takes absolutely every bit of the original ROG phone, with no exception or omission, and somehow manages to improve every aspect of the already impressive formula. There is a lot that does into designing a modern smartphone, both inside and out. Even more so a flagship, especially one packed full of optional features. Connectivity in particular takes up a huge amount of space, and antenna positioning is a real challenge. So a lot of thought has went in that department to provide the best possible connectivity. As for the exterior, Asus didn't simply curve a couple of Gorilla Glass pieces, slap them onto a metal frame and call it a day either. Whether you personally like the aesthetic or not, there is no denying that the particular gaming look of the ROG Phone 2 takes a lot of meticulous crafting to do just right. So, all in all, the engineers and designers all deserve plenty of praise for this one. Number 7, OnePlus 8 Pro. OnePlus has climbed its way up from the high-end budget phone to the fully fledged flagship. The brand once called its phone the flagship killer, and the OnePlus 8 Pro has become the very thing that the company initially aimed to dethrone. The 8 Pro has an impressive spec sheet, high-end CPU, 10-bit high-end AMOLED screen, Warp Charge 30T, and for the first time from OnePlus, support for wireless charging and even reverse wireless charging for sharing juice with an accessory or to give some juice to a friend. That high-end display is of the 120Hz variety, and it's a panel made by Samsung. OnePlus is promising near-perfect color accuracy, over 1 billion colors, and the brightest output of any display it has ever put in a smartphone. The smoothness of the still higher refresh rate display is the company's way of staying ahead of the trends, which could be an advantage in markets like the US where the company has a presence. There's a new camera system with the notable larger Sony IMX689 sensor behind the quad camera's main lens. The ultrawide camera gets a larger sensor as well, but the telephoto camera remains pretty much the same as the OnePlus 7T. OnePlus has a new color filter camera whose long-term usefulness remains to be seen.